Hi, I'm Nate Parsons with Com 270. For our first story tonight, let's head over to Cary News for their segment on gambling with media.
From MCC headquarters in Brighton, New York, this is Cary News with Justin Pickard. This is our special edition, Gambling with Media, the Henrietta Casino issue.
On March 3rd, 2014, Seneca Gaming Corporation spent $2.7 million to purchase 32 acres of land in Henrietta for a potential casino. The property is located on Clay Road near Interstate 390. East Henrietta Road and Jefferson Road are already busy sectors in the area. This issue is about taxes, traffic, layoffs, crime,
Morality.
Like many existing problems, the media affects the way consumers receive and interpret information about the issues. The media has an effect on the casino issue in several different ways. Different media outlets are picking sides in the issue. This biased reporting in media is affecting the way people interpret the possible casino addition. Now we go to Kyle for his report.
So after researching the casino proposal in Henrietta through multiple media sources, I was not able to find a lot of information. On the Fox and CBS websites, I was not able to find a single article explaining what they plan to do. When I researched on the NBC website, I found one article about the casino proposal in Henrietta by the Seneca Nation. And then on the 13 Land website, I found two articles that were published by people following this that actually explained what the Seneca Nation plans to do and what they plan to bring to the area. So after researching this casino proposal, I have found that not many media sources covered this topic very seriously. They didn't really think that it would ever have a chance to become a casino in the area because of all the traffic and things like that. So this is a media problem in Rochester.
Many small businesses near the Seneca site oppose the addition for a new casino, but have been unable to get the word out to the media.
According to the No More Casino Coalition website, 75 small businesses in the Henrietta area oppose a new casino being built. However, media outlets such as the Democrat and Chronicle prefer to interview residents with no knowledge instead of business owners who will be more affected than anyone else if the casino will be built.
In a total of 5 articles about the Henrietta Casino by the Democrat and Chronicle, a total of 9 different people were asked about their opinions about the casino. None of the 9 people interviewed were connected to the 75 Henrietta businesses that oppose the casino. Most of them residents that approve or oppose the casino for personal reasons.
It is unknown if the Democrat and Chronicle has any agenda when it comes to covering the Henrietta Casino.
However, their lack of coverage on the small businesses will have a negative impact on the society's perception of when the casino will come in.
Perhaps some supporters of these businesses would take a different approach had this medium done a better job placing small business owners in a spotlight for this issue.
We now go to Hannah, who has been interviewing students at MCC about their opinions about the casino.
Over the past few weeks, we have been interviewing students around MCC, asking them if they have heard about the possible casino opening in Henrietta. A lot of the students have not heard about the possible opening, and a majority of the ones who have learned through friends and family members or through social media. Now this raises the question of how many people are informed about events and news through biased opinion and skewed facts. Now back to Justin.
This concludes our special broadcast on gambling with the media, Henrietta Casino issue. It is still uncertain if putting a casino in Henrietta would be good or bad for our community. The case of media not doing their best job to inform the public about a serious issue is common. This is not a standalone case, however, but an example of how media affects our society.
I'm Kim Singleton, and for everyone at Cary News, thank you for watching.
Thank you, Cary News. Now let's head over to Bill Burt as he interviews Tree Clemens of Soja House.
I'm Bill Burt, and I'm here with Tree Clemens of Sojourner House at Patstone. Thanks for having us today.
You're welcome.
What is your opinion on the media's portrayal of poverty in our area?
For the most part, I have a positive opinion of it. We've had some good experience with a reporter from Channel 13. I was in charge of what's called the point in time count this year, which counts homeless persons in our community, and they came down to the Blue Cross Arena, which is where we were starting the count, and did a great interview with us. And that they really want to be involved in a positive way. I don't think that they have a great understanding of the causes of poverty, however. And so that's something I think that they can continue to work on.
What type of exposure benefits your organization?
The exposure I think that benefits our organization isn't necessarily by the media. Although media exposure is important, we also get a lot of exposure through community organizations, because Rochester, even though it's a fairly large city, we have a hometown feel, and so homeless organizations know each other, and they know whether you're doing a good job or not doing a good job, and what the challenges are and what the challenges are not. So a lot of what we react to is word of mouth by organizations. The other exposure that's really important to us is word of mouth from participants. We get a lot of referrals to our programs through other people who have successfully participated in our programs. So it isn't just media that we worry about. And personally, I feel like if you do the job well at the participant level, everything else falls into place.
Now, according to your website, you work constructively within the political and social arenas to help people escape from poverty. Can you elaborate on that?
Let's start with the social aspect. I think that's more local and more concrete. We participate in Project Homeless Connect, which is an annual event that provides a variety of services to the homeless and at risk of homeless population in one location. We host it at the Blue Cross Arena, and it's things like medical care for homeless population, screenings, health screenings, haircuts, foot care, mental health services, housing services. Department of Health and Human Services and the Social Security Department will come in and provide services to people one day, and then they follow up with those people. So working together as a community on a social level to meet the needs as a collective group is important. On a political level, many of our people in our organization keep in touch with people like Joe Robach and Morelli's office. And I'm involved with the Homeless Services Network locally, their advocacy committee, and I'm also on the advocacy committee for the Supportive Housing Network of New York, which is based out of Albany and does advocacy work on a state level and also travels to DC to do advocacy work. So it's important for us to impact legislation locally on the state level and on the national level. So it doesn't just benefit our local homeless population, but we need to make sure that it's benefiting all homeless population.
What aspect of homelessness does the media usually miss that should be covered?
I would say would be the homeless population that is really unseen. We think of homeless people as the people that are standing on the street corners asking for change and for food. Homeless will work for food. You're not going to take that person to your house, to work at your house, to get the food that you want from them. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to have them do lawn work at your house. I personally keep granola bars and maybe fluids in my car. In the winter, I keep those hand warmers, those portable hand warmers, and those are the things that I give out to people that are on the corner. But the other thing is, for example, you may not know that there are approximately 55 people that live in the Civic Center garage at night. On average. That's an average number. So it could be less, could be more, up to 70. But those people live there. It's now getting more media coverage because we're working on the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not necessarily covering that we're working on the problem. They're covering that it's a problem. So that can be a challenge. The other thing is, that's not the whole question. Why isn't media talking about the causes of poverty. And it's not just monetary poverty. It's poverty of support systems. It's poverty for consistent medical care. Maybe people haven't learned life skills from the previous generation in order to be successful in this generation. And poverty is different for people now than it was for my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation. Poverty then might have been, well, half of the population had a phone in their home. Well, today, everybody has a phone in their pocket. And that's absolutely necessary, especially when you're trying to get a job. Employers expect you to have a phone in your pocket. So if you don't, and you've got to wait to get home to get voicemail, that's poverty. But some people might look at that person and say, you have a phone, how are you paying for that?
And what is a good way for students to get involved?
I think advocacy is important. That can be a challenge, however, because students have to, in order to be advocates, they have to become educated about the different advocacy issues. And it definitely can be done. You can get emails that say, this is the legislation that's currently up for grabs. Please call your local representatives and write letters or leave voicemails. And that's great. That's important. But remember when I talked about how it's important to start at the participant level? Are you kind to the people that you pass? Do you treat them like human beings? And I'm not saying take them home with you. I'm saying that you're respectful. You treat them the way you would want to be treated. And this has nothing to do with spirituality or religion. It's just caring about an individual that crosses your path. The other thing that I would say is if they want to step up participation a little bit more, maybe there are things that you can do on a volunteer level, and it could be 2 hours a month. It really doesn't have to be a lot of time. But if you really are going to volunteer those 2 hours a month, you need to show up.
Ms. Clement, I certainly thank you for your time today. I'm Bill Bird for COM 270, Media and Society.
Thank you, Bill Burt. Now for our final segment, we head over to MCC as we interview students about their cell phone usage.
Probably about 5-6 hours.
There's probably a good portion of the day is spent on my phone.
I use my phone for about an hour.
Probably about 5.
14 hours. I'm on my phone every day, even in class.
Total, maybe 2.
Probably more than half the day. I'm on my phone when I'm in class, not paying attention. I'm on my phone when I get to my room. I'm on my phone, even I'll wake up in the middle of the night and look at my phone.
Horrible. No interpersonal skills. You go anywhere, all you see is people like this. You can't just like sit next to people anymore without having that need to be like, you're always in your phone.
I'd say a lot. I just know from personal experience. There are a lot of people who, you know, their first initiation of breaking the ice in terms of like a friendship or relationship, they'll use Facebook because, I mean, it's easy, it's simple, you don't have to really worry about stature or anything because you're not getting that. You're not picking up on tone of voice, you're not picking up on emotions. Everything is just very one note. Human language is very complex. When you're just sending like a text, you're stripping away the tone and emotion from those two. I cannot press more into that.
It makes it artificial. I feel like just because you can text somebody, it makes the face-to-face conversation so fake. You can just text them later. You're in a rush all the time. Because you don't know how to have a conversation. You're just so used to texting. When it comes to like having a face-to-face conversation, you're very limited with your words. You're not very personable. You kind of lose the confidence of talking to other people.
People don't talk to people anymore. I'm even guilty with texting my children in the house. I'm upstairs, they're downstairs. I text them, bring me a glass of milk. And I do this. We don't talk to one another anymore. It's transferring over into our writing as well. I noticed myself when I was sending an actual email, I was using text ease, which is not acceptable.
because it's the future. That's how everybody communicate, really, through a phone, text, social media. Sometimes they don't really have much to say. Some people communicate better through a phone. People will be talking about while they're talking, they wouldn't be in their face. They'll talk like this, like, yeah, you seen the game last night? Yeah, it takes away from a lot, though. It stops people from doing a lot of things like being outside, regular activities. Having a phone now is just like walking around with a TV. Worse.
Worse?
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
Oh, it's gonna get worse. If they keep on coming out with all these new phones and different apps for these phones, it's gonna get worse.
I think it's gonna get worse.
I don't know. I like to think there's going to be some optimism to it. You know, I can't see that right now. I'd have to look more into that.
Worse, definitely.
It's gonna be worse because everybody's addicted to it. But you turn the cell phone off for a day, that doesn't happen anymore.
That's really dependent. Technology is a great tool, but it can be misused really easily.
That's all we need.
Yeah, just sign this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Can you sign this though?
Yeah.
Nice.
Alright, that's it.
Thanks, bro.
Am I free?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you just sign this though?
Yeah.
And you don't want us to send it to you?
No. Nope.
He's just sitting there chilling. What are you doing? He's like, yo, I wouldn't got the copies.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Nate Parsons of Com 270, and you stay classy.